I think we should start, right?
Yes, yes.
Yes, Sagar, you can start.
Yeah, thank you. So everyone are able to see my screen, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, first of all, good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining. Uh, like just for an introduction, I'm Vidyasagar Chelluri. I'm a senior Oracle DBA, and I'm a certified like OCP, and have done my cloud certification as well. Previously, I've worked with Oracle company. So today, I'm going to discuss about the ZDL array. So which is a kind of appliance. If anyone are familiar with Exadata, so we call it as an engineered systems. So for that, it's similar to the Exadata, but more of a backup appliance. So let's get started. So today I'm going to discuss about the following contents, like what exactly the ZDL array is, and what are the features and how are the benefits when using the ZDL array, and what kind of architecture does it follow, like especially like for databases. If anyone are working on Oracle databases, so how do you back up that Oracle databases on Exadata? So the kind of architecture information we'll see today, and some of the basic prerequisite information, like what are the virtual backups, and what is the real-time redo, so which is more important for to configure the backups in the ZDL array. And the technology wise, like how the ZDL array functions, which is called as a delta push and delta store. So I'm going to discuss those topics as well. And since it's an appliance, you need some space requirements to store the data. So what kind of rack, uh, like when I say rack, it's a kind of Exadata rack again. So what kind of space requirements and what are the capacity planning kind of thing we'll be knowing, and we'll be getting that information also. And yeah, the other thing is like how do we integrate with the ZDL array backups, and how do we manage the backups on a day-to-day basis. So basically, like how do we configure the backups with the OEM, and how do we integrate with OEM, and what kind of prerequisites related to protection policies, and how do we set the recovery windows, and how do we perform the restore and all that. So I'll be showing a glimpse of it. And addition to that, I'll be discussing about scheduling the backups and submitting the backups from OEM for more. So before getting into the ZDL array, I would like to discuss about how the database backups, when I say database backups, like traditionally, most if anyone of from you from the Oracle DBA, so we'll be using an Arman backup, Arman utility to regularly perform the backups on a day-to-day basis, and even for the backup and recovery for the purposes, right? So in that case, like if at all you want to store these backups, so we'll be either be storing these backups on a disk or on the tape drive. So when considering that, so we'll be having a lot of third-party vendors who is helpful for supporting this storing these backups. So if like any one of you know, like recently there are a lot of tools that have come up, like recovery window, uh, like rubric. So these kind of tools we have in the market. So they are exceptionally doing well, and so those are basically designed for to manage the backups, so without the administration, like more of like it will be automatically managed in the backend itself. So we don't have to do much administration from engineering perspective. So in that case, there are chances like traditionally, if we see this backup methodology, so you can see that like can have multiple backups that are taken on a daily basis. And those backups are not, since it is an Oracle proprietary backups, so some information or that the utilities, the third party which we use may not have that compatibility and reading the backup information, like what exactly the last backup was taken and how to perform the next backup and all. So they will be treating like the backups as a file system backups. So basically, it considers as a raw data kind of thing. So it doesn't know what information does it have to, so that when we have the block level information, then only we can increase the performance of the backups on a day-to-day basis. So these kind of things and some of the deduplication related. So I'll be discussing on that topic going forward. So this information on the third-party tools is little difficult to manage, and whereas coming to the security purpose, point of view also will be having a lot of challenges. So here I have shown a depict of like how the incremental backups will be like regular backups on a database. So how the snapshots, it's like just capturing, just copying that file system completely to take the backup. So to avoid these kind of things, like when we follow such these kind of methodologies on an engineered system, when I say engineered system, it's an Exadata. So we may have a degrade of the performance of the database backups. To avoid such performance related issues and to increase the better administration of the backups, so Oracle have introduced a concept called ZDLRA. So which is ZDLRA is basically, it stands for Zero Data Loss Recovery Appliance. So it has all the Exadata storage level and DB nodes, like same kind of architecture which followed in Exadata. But this is based completely used for the backup purposes. And you can also set the replication, like you can have two ZDLRA nodes and we can perform replication also, depending on the budget of the business and all. And the latest version it have is an X8M. As per the recent search I have, this I have found it. So X8M is the latest rack appliance. And for storage, basically it uses an ASM storage underlying. So the ASM disk groups you will be having regular to a normal database. You will be having two disk groups. So one is for the Delta. We call the disk group named it as a Delta, and the other disk group is named it as a catalog. So the Delta is basically like to store all the metadata information, all the change in the backup information, like from the previous backup to the current backup. And even the catalog will also have the all the database related, like where are the backup pieces and what kind of block level changes that happen. Everything will be stored in the catalog. This catalog is more of an admin catalog. So I'll be showing that in the next slides. And coming to the software, like the ZDLRA, as I said, like it will have the capability of managing everything in the backend itself. Like even if you delete a backup, or for example, if you have decommissioned a database and you want to delete the backup, as long as the database was decommissioned, all we need to do is just simply remove that backup entry from the ZDLRA. It will remove all the underlying backup information of that database. So it's simple to manage, but only thing is the administration and the appliance, since it's an engineered system, it is a bit costlier compared to the other appliances we have. And it is Oracle recommends it's a must to have this kind of appliance to have the business critical backups to be managed. And yeah, so the database which we configure in the ZDLRA, simply we call it as a protected database. So whatever the database that we have, like production, non-prod, stage, any kind of database that we have, when we configure a backup for that database in the ZDLRA appliance, so this database, we call it as a protected database. So for the protected database, we need to have all the uh, configurations that are to be done at a like database level. I'll be showing that as well. So the protected database need to be configured first in order to uh, make it work with the ZDL array. So for that, so if everyone are aware of like the tape backups, so we whenever we use a tape backup, we generally configure the channels in the admin. So for disk, we'll be configuring the channels. The channels is a communication where using the threads, the backups will be read and write like read from the database, and it will be written to the target, whether it's the tape or a disk. So when it is using tape, this is a we call it as SBT underscore tape. This is a standard format that we need to configure in the Arman channel, and this channel will be communicating to the libraries of the Oracle Home. So we need to have some plugins configured on the protected database level to communicate the SBT tape. Uh, so the target will be like media manager kind of. So the SBT tape library, whereas we need to register the database in the Arman catalog as well. So here, if I refer to Arman catalog, you can refer to the above point like catalog ASM disk group, right? So you'll have that information stored in the catalog on the ZDL array. So there is no separate Arman catalog. The ZDL array itself will have the Arman catalog database. So coming to the question like why we need the ZDL array. So as I said, like it has a lot of managing of critical databases and all. So apart from that, the latest features, some of the features like it is cloud compatible as well. So like you can have this ZDL array backups move to the object storage as well on the cloud, and we can have this backup pieces available to further recovery service. So, and it also have, for that you need to have the additional plugins to be installed on the Oracle Cloud platform. And like the Arman related, like it is completely integrated with Arman technology. Like it will have all the information, like whenever we perform a backup or a restore or a recovery, so everything will be done through Arman prompt itself when you do it manually. Even if we trigger it from the OEM also, it in the backend it will call the Arman utility to perform all that activity. And the appliance wise, it is like it will have all the validation checks at regular intervals when say like if the backup is configured or if the backup is missing on a particular day. So it will have all the validations in the backend, and even if the backup is corrupted also, we'll have that information. So the other thing is like it will have like strong capabilities of handling the backups and the lifecycle management. As I said, like it will be automatically administering backups when we decommission a database. That's a basic example. And some of the key features that we have is like a real-time redo transport. So if anyone of us have worked with the data guard, so we'll be knowing what is the redo transport is like. So I'll be showing that in the future slides, but the basic real-time read is like syncing the database. Like here, when considering the protected database, we'll be having a continuous sync with the ZDL array appliance, so that all the changes will be moved or pushed from the protected database to the ZDL array appliance. So we call it as a real-time redo transport. So before generating archive also on the database level, from the redo buffer, it can directly access that information. So for that, we need to have a set of configurations to be done on the protected database level. And it will have like replication is more of secured, it uses a secured channel for replicating the information over the network. And it will also have like we can configure tape backups also from the ZDL array. We're having OSB. configured if required, and it will be moved to the tables. And as I said, like it will eliminate corruption of database backups. So like it will be checking in the backend, like if there are any corruptions, and it will try to recover the block with the existing backup, or it will get all the required blocks from the protected database whenever it encounters any corruption. That is one of the best feature from the ZDLR. And the other good point is like, for example, on a regular basis, if you are performing a database full backups, so it will be like performance hindering, right? So for that, to avoid such performance related issues when encountering when a database runs in the parallel, so we'll be having ZDLR uses like it will take a full backup for the first time, and all the subsequent backups will be an incremental. So we call it as an incremental forever backup strategy. Even I'll explain that in the future slides. And like let's for like a space management kind of thing. Since it uses all incremental backups, so we are having a concept of virtual backups. So that will help us to manage the space efficiently, so that it will be easy to have the storage like purging of old backups and depending on the retention and all. And virtual backups technically occupies very less space compared to the like the main full backups, like a level 0. And the like the backup operations, like it will be we can offload that backups like if it required, we can offload to disk also. So we can have that managed by ZDL Array. For example, if you are restoring a backup, we can directly connect to ZDL Array to the catalog, and we can issue a restore database. And coming to the SLA, like we will be having set of protection policies in the ZDL Array. So those kind of policies will help us to manage like what kind of retention of the backup it should be, like say like a 1-year backup if you want to have a retention. So these kind of SLAs can be defined, and the recovery windows and all. So it will be having a set of standard policies that we have depending on the environment. For example, if in a production we'll be having a policy defined, whereas a non-prod will be having the other policies defined. And the database, like space management, it is completely aware of it, so it will be handling in the backend itself. And as I said, like it's compatible with the cloud scale, like cloud technology, and it will be easily integrated with the cloud platform also. When I say cloud, it is more of an OCI, not the other clouds. And unified, like we can have all the controlling from the Arman itself. Like as I said, like it will be managing. In fact, it will be managed easily with the OEM console. I'll be showing that as well. And some of the benefits is like maybe like if we ever perform the database backup recoveries, we might be seeing like 2 points are more considered, like RPO and RTO. Like those are called as recovery point objective and recovery time objective. So recovery point of objective is like at till what point we can restore a backup, whereas time is recovery time objective is like till what like within how much time we can restore the backup, right? So for that, like it will reduce the time, the RPOs, and it will eliminate all like in case of any data loss, it will be eliminating such critical issues also. The reason why I'm saying is like since we have the real-time read enabled, as I said, like it will be continuously synced with the ZDLR plans. So there are very minute chances of it would be like set as a 0, but it will be very minimal, and you can see all the data to be recovered completely without any issues. So even I have worked in one of my previous project where we have recovered the database successfully. So those kind of things can also be achieved successfully without any like major issues on a production level. And like the backups, we can, since we are having an incremental backups on a day-to-day basis, so the duration of backup will be very less. So it will minimize the like the backup window also, and it will have like some of the data. For example, if you see, like when you go with the normal other traditional backups, you might be seeing some duplication of data. Say like if you already taken a backup, again if you have taken another backup, so there will be a space is occupied on the disk, and you might not be using that old backups no longer. So for that reason, ZDL array, it will not allow any duplicate data when you perform a backup. So only the change blocks that are uh, captured from the protected database. So only those information will be available on the recovery appliance to make that data consistent, and you will not have any duplication of data. And the main other thing is like because the backups will have some resources consumption on the production system. So recovery appliance, it will offload all that backup performance, so that it will have that resources are utilized very minimal. So as I said, like it eliminates 90 to 95%. So you will not see any overhead on the production system when you perform a backup. And the other thing is like you might be having some other technologies or third-party tools that are available, but when comes to the data protection or in case of any security breaches, so it will be difficult to handle when we are dealing with the third-party vendors. And because the data is a key aspect when we are managing with the database. So the recovery appliance, what it does is like it will have all that secure features available, and it is more of like maintenance will be very much easier compared to the other third-party related vendors. So these are some of the benefits. And coming to the architecture, like it is, so this is the other latest information. You can see like, till up to 19C, the ZDLR is more of compatible with Oracle databases. So starting from the 10G release 2. But I don't think like many of us have used the like 10G release 2 version with ZDLRA, but the recent times like ZDLRA have more of latest integrations with the OEM, and also it will be easy to manage if you're an Exadata platform. So like you can see like this is an architecture, like the recovery appliance. If you see, it looks like an Exadata, where if in Exadata you can see an X logo here. So the recovery appliance, they have named it as an R. So from that recovery appliance, you can see on the left side there are a couple of protected databases. So when I say protected databases, you can consider it as a production or non-production system. So from here, you will be having a real-time redo configured. So with this real-time redo configuration, it will be pushing all the data from the protected database. You can see on the left side, it will be moving all the blocks towards the recovery appliance. In parallel, you'll be having the incremental backups also. So to ensure there is no data missing and all, so we'll be having incremental backups on a daily basis. It's like an L1 level 1 backup. Everyone, like anyone aware with Armen, it's a level 1 backup. So you'll be taking it on a daily basis. So as you know, like since it will be having very less changes on a level 1 backup, so the backup and recovery window will be like faster compared to the level 0 backup. So once it performs a data push, it will be it can like replicate that data again to another ZDLR appliance. If you can see this dotted line in the right side down corner, you can see the replicate to remote recovery appliance. So from one ZDLR appliance, you can have the other node configured, and we can replicate the data as well. So depend on the requirements. Generally, we'll do have this replication setup, and to ensure like high availability and we can also move some of the backups. Like we can move it to tape also to have like utmost security for that. We can configure this OSP, and we can configure the like tape backups. And from the ZDL array, once it receives the data from the Delta push, so it will be storing that data. So it will be storing on the ASM disk groups. As I previously shown you, like it will be using two ASM disk groups, Delta and Catalog. So that information in the Delta, it will be Delta ASM disk group. You will have this Delta store. We call it as a Delta store, and it will have all the information required whenever we need the required backup to be restored or recovered. And the other capability of ZDL array is like it is more compatible with Exadata, and it can handle petabytes of data also. So on the protected database, if you can see in the previous slide on the left side, the protected databases. So on the protected database, you will be configuring the Arman related channels also. So for example, you can see here I have set a small example for this. You can just open an Arman prompt on an protected data on your production system, and you can just configure this channel with this standard format. So we need to set this SBT library, and we can you need to point to the library where the Oracle is a path in the Oracle home. And the RA wallet, so RA wallet is it's like encrypted key wallet, so that is required for authentication. Like if you want to communicate the protected database with the recovery appliance, so we need to have this wallet configured so that it can access that recovery appliance host on that particular port. So so it will, once it communicates, it will connect to the VPC user. We call it as a virtual private catalog user. So using this wallet information, it will be communicating with that. So yeah, and once like before configuring this channel, we'll have to create any encrypted key wallet on the database. We can use MK store for that. Like we need to set some credentials, and we need to configure that so that it will allow to configure the channel here. Otherwise, if the wallet is not available, it may not communicate from the admin when you perform a backup. And like just an explanation, like what you can see, like in the example, like this is a module, it's a library module. So what it does is like it will allow the as I said, like the tape backups, right? So this tape backup channels, it will connect over HTTP protocol, and it will connect to the recovery appliance. And as I said, like the RA wallet, it will have the credentials of on like on the VPC user credentials. So those VPC users will be created on the recovery appliance, and whereas it will be granted all the required permissions from the protected database, so that it will have the communication, and it can perform the like Arman. It can access the Arman utility with that information. And yeah, before like to understand like how the backups are performed, we need to know what exactly the virtual backup is like. So for example, if we are in a regular Oracle backups with using Arman, we can have the level 0 backup, which is called as a full backup of a database. For example, if you are performing a database backup for the very first time, we will be considering it as a level 0. And even the in the ZDL array also, whenever you create a new database and if you want to register that database and perform a backup, the first backup will be the level 0. And after that, for example, if we want to capture all the changes on the block level, so we'll be initiating a level 1 backup. So, but in ZDL, what happens is like if we perform a level 1 backup, it will underlyingly create another level 0 backup just to make sure like because at any point of time, if you want to restore a backup, it should read all the backup information till that point of time, like to ensure there is no data loss. To achieve that, our ZDL array uses this technology of virtual level 0. So what it does is it will perform whenever you say like if you connect to the database and if you set like restore database until time. So when during till that point of time, you'll be having all that information, and it will underlyingly create a level 0 for us, so that it will have a complete backup that is available, and it will have all the changes captured from the initial level 0. So we call it as like the ingest is like the real-time read information. Everything will be available so that it will create a virtual level 0 backup with that complete information. So it will be easy to restore the backup, so without any data loss when we have this virtual level 0 created by ZDL array. Again, it's just an explanation like how does the ZDL array, since it's it can read the Oracle Arman blocks because it's an Oracle product, and it have the compatibility and algorithms to read that Arman block. It will read the block and it will capture the changes like whatever the required from the last backup, and based on that information, like it will create a virtual level 0. And yeah, and one more point is like it will whenever it will not allow any duplicate data as I stated earlier. So whatever the changes that happened from the last block, so it will be performing a backup again. So we call it as an incremental backup, and that is the reason it's called as an